Hey guys, PLV here and welcome for another video. What? You tired of the winter and you want summer vibes? Well, you're in luck because today I'm showing you exactly how I made my latest tropical house song called Summer Nights. I don't know you, but I don't like winter. This is my least favorite season. I want summer, I want the sun, I want to be on the beach, I want blue water, I want palm trees everywhere. No, seriously, I love tropical house. For me, it's something that brings good vibes and happiness, and I think these days we can use that. So Summer Nights is the third song that I did in the Kygo masterclass. So yes, it is heavily influenced by him. And I got a few requests asking me to show exactly how I made that song, so let's do that. Alright, so for this format of video, I will be showing you how I made the song in the same order that I did the song, so that if you're struggling with workflow or making your first song, maybe it can give you some steps to follow. So the first thing I did when starting this song was actually to choose the vocals. In the masterclass, we had access to a library of vocals to make songs, and I took this one from that library. So if I show you the vocals like I got them, it sounds like this.
We're talking about summer nights when all our days are bright and all our dreams can come true.
When I heard these vocals, it immediately rang summer vibes to me and just like being on the beach with your friends on a summer evening. So I really wanted to go for a old Kygo style of music, of tropical house. So if we look at the vocals, I just added a little bit of power limiter. I think it was the compressor that I used. Yeah, I compressed the vocals to reduce the dynamic range. Then just an EQ and then some reverb.
We're talking about summer nights when all our days are bright and all our dreams can come true.
So there was as well those hoo-hoo, we'll call them this way, that I thought were good for a pre-chorus, so I just put them here at the... I think I pretty much did the same for them. I did a little vocal doubler so that it would add a little bit of something to the hoo-hoos and not being like super basic. And that's it for the vocals. Right, so after having my vocals, I just laid down a basic arrangement. So I had already the pre-chorus and chorus done and then the verse obviously. So I just wanted to have the intro, like a short intro. I wanted to aim for summer hit songs, so I didn't want to have too long of an intro so that we can really get into the song right away. So yeah, I just used markers. You just have to do Alt-T and you can do whatever, like verse 2. You can just move it and do your arrangement like this so that it's more visual. So yeah, I just did a basic, intro, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, and then build up and drop, and then copy that, but doubling the drop at the end and just the intro. Alright, so the first thing I did is work on the drop, because that's the process that I'm used to now that I've done the class with Kygo, because that's how he does his workflow. And he says that it's because if he doesn't have a good idea for the drop, then it's just not worth it for him to work on that song, and it kind of makes sense. So let's dive in. So for the drop, I started with laying down some chords, which were already given by the vocals. So I just took those chords and chopped them to get this little rhythm. And then after this, I layered it because I wanted, well, more layers because it doesn't sound good on its own. So because it was tropical, I wanted to get like some plucky mallet kalimba sounds in the drop, in the chord, sorry. So I found this one, Magic Mallet, which is in Contact. I did a kalimba as well. Then I doubled my piano with this one. And I added a little synth as well that acted like a little pad under to just add some more power. So if we look at the actual drop, sorry, it's just a different rhythm, just instead of the break in between, I just have no breaks, it just continues. So after this I also added a sidechain on my chords. So yeah, all my pianos, I had them in a different track in the mixer, and they were all routed to the bus piano. So yeah, I did a little OTT and shaper box, which is some side chaining, and an EQ to remove the low frequencies. But that's pretty much it. After this, I added a pad under because I wanted to fill up the atmosphere a little bit, which I also sidechain. So the pad is just a preset on Vital that I found. I cannot remember it because it's obviously not there. But I have a bunch of Vital presets that I found, so if you want, just DM me. I can send you the links to the websites that I found them on. So after laying down my chords, I was like, the only other instruments that I could hear in my head was guitar, acoustic guitar. So I took the one from Native Instruments called Strummed Acoustic. It's actually from Session Guitarist. So first I lay down my first pattern for the guitar that sounded like this. Which is using the same chords as the drop, but just not chopped up. But yeah, so I also wanted to add a muted guitar in the background, which sounded like this. But because I felt it was too weak, I added just a stronger pattern that was like rising at the end of a bar. Yeah, so all the guitars sounded like this. I routed all of them in a guitar bus. What I like to do to push my guitars on the sides is to double them, like duplicate them. So like for example, I have here that is one that is full on the left and the other that is full on the right. And what I do is like if you just do this, they're gonna cancel each other and they're gonna sound back like if they were in the middle. But to keep them on the sides, you just have to offset one. So like for example, the right one, I took the notes and I just offsetted the notes a little bit, like just like a 16th of a note if you want, but like just enough so that it sounds like they are on the sides. I think I found a better way, like easier way to do it now by using the Fruity Enhancer Stereo, I think. Okay, so after this, I came up with the melody. So for the melody, I layered it as well with different ones. I had a Kygo flute that I've made in Citrus. And then I added a little mallet from Vital. And then, okay, a plug that I had found in my song Better Now. It sounds like this. I added as well some delay that I hear right now. Bus melody, yeah, some delay, side chaining, a high cut filter because I'm filtering in the melody in the build up, and just an EQ. But yeah, it sounds like this. Alright, so after this, I think I just did the kick at this point. So I used two. That just sounded like this. Then I added a little snare. Clap in between to vary it a little bit. Open hat at the end, and then I also added more snaps. And then I added a little shaker. So after this, I added some shaker and tambourine loop that sounded like this to fill the atmosphere. And after this, I worked on the bass, which is a Vital preset, I believe, that sounded like this. And I played with the notes and the octaves. I think it's called like melodic rolls or something. And it's just to add some grooviness. And then I added also a little sub bass to fill the low end. That was also a Vital preset that sounded like this. And at this point, this was done. I just sidechained the bass and sub to the kick. So all the bass and drum sounds like this. yeah, at this point I had all my elements for the drop, and it sounded like this. And that's it for the drop, really. I had all my elements there, so then I started working on distribute all those elements throughout the whole song, and I worked backwards, so the next thing I did was the build-up. Alright, so for the build-up, I just took my chords and copy-paste everything here. The only thing I changed is I cut the chords for the last bar so that I can leave some suspense, and also because my melody on the build-up sounded like this. And this little part here was like kind of like rising into the drop, so I wanted to really hear it and cut everything else. So I had my chords and the melody, which I filtered so that it arrives little bit by little bit. I use a high cut filter. So the guitar, I didn't copy the drop guitar. I only kept the muted guitar so that it would, you know, tung, 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 like building the rhythmic and building the energy. I also didn't copy the pad over, I kept it for the drop, and I just started with the kick alone, like quite filtered, and then on the second part I add the other one, and I bring the snap in, some hi-hats, shaker loop, and also a snare riser. And then as well, something that I did for just before the drop when I cut everything is I added those percussion sounds. So they sound individually, they sound like this. So I added a delay on them, and at the end, that's honestly what I felt like was fitting the song when I cut everything, and because I was using those percussions before, I thought it would match well, so that's what I did. And then at the end I added a little percussion fill as well, that is like this. I really like that one. I feel like it's like sending you into the drop, so yeah. But yeah, that was it for the build-up. So let's listen to what we have for now. So now that the build-up and drop, like main part of the song was done, I started to work again backwards and build the chorus, pre-chorus, and verse. So the only thing I did basically is, because I had already all my elements, I just like distribute them over the first part of the song and just slowly adding them together so that I could slowly build the energy towards the drop. So I laid down some different chords and it sounded like this. So it was just something more calm that I layered with just two other sounds, this piano and the mallet one. And over the vocals, I thought it would be good to have only the muted guitar. And I think that was it for the verse. And then it's in the pre-chorus that I'm starting to add some stuff. So I bring in the pad and the guitar chorus, which is a different pattern than the drop one, but kind of similar. It sounded like this. And I also start to bring in a little kick, which I layered with a hi-hat. So yeah, I'm just bringing that kick, and not on all the time, like not on all the beats, just to slowly bring the energy and yeah, slowly rise everything up. Also have a shaker loop. And And there on the chorus I added the sub and more drums, which was the snap, shakers, hi-hats. I think in the transition as well I used that same little transition fill. Little and in the chorus I also bring all the layers of the piano together. One thing that I missed as well is usually I never leave more than 4 bars or maximum like 8 alone without anything new happening. So here at the second part, in the second part of the verse, I add this tambourine loop in the background. One thing as well to mention in the verse is I wanted some like sounds that you would hear in a tropical island. So I wanted some percussion sounds. Yeah, so that's it for the first part. Right, so after the first part of the song was done, I just worked on the intro. You know, I told you I wanted something that grabs the attention right away, like a summer hit. So I put the melody in the intro, but I didn't want to give it all right now, so I just used a piano. I also put the pad under to have a bit more atmosphere. I also put just the muted guitar again. To also put you in the atmosphere that I wanted to have some kind of drums and FX atmosphere under, so I added this hat that goes from like the left to the right in your headphones. Speaking of ambience and atmosphere, I used a few loops that I found on Splice, obviously some very tropical ones. I also wanted some ocean wave sounds. And those are 2 loops that I kept over throughout the song. And then the last thing that I did in the intro was actually a last addition, which was this whistle. So for this whistle, it was definitely not planned. It's something that I added maybe like the day before finishing the song. It was just a last addition that I found on Splice. I was just looking on Splice for something that I could add in the last drop of the song. Just something to like add more and finish off the song. And I had the idea of a whistle, so I just, not Googled, but like on Splice, I searched for a whistle that was in the key of my song. And luckily I found this one, which I instantly thought that was fitting perfectly, so I just put it in there. I just love it. I think that it's really like, you know, putting you in this like sing-along, you know, dancing on the beach and all. I don't know, that's the feeling that it gives me, so yeah, I was happy and I added it. But I also didn't want it to compete with the main melody, so I just added it at the total like end of the song. So at the end of the song, I put the drop again twice. So this is the normal drop, and I just loop it another time. And the whistle just comes here on the second part of the drop, and you can see the whistle. I make it come up in volume, like more and more. And I do the opposite with the melody, where I volume it down so that the melody fades off and it's the whistle that comes and add this nice addition at the end. Yeah, so at this point I had all my first part of the song. So what I did is I literally like copied and pasted the whole first part of the song, and I just played with like having different elements coming in, or like just adding some variations. Like I didn't want the verse to be the exact same as it was in the first one. So for example, in the second verse, I keep some drums, I keep the kick, I keep the snap as well, just also to keep some energy and not completely lose it after the drop. And then for the outro, it was just the second like double drop, and that I just automated everything to like fade away over 4 bars, but that's all I do. At the end, I just keep one more time the whistle with just like the ambience of the waves and the birds, just to like finish, you know, and going back to like calm and like wave sounds that you have on the beach. But yeah, that's it. And then the last thing I did, but I kind of did as I was going to the song, is I just added some effects, you know, sweep up and down, some crashes. I really like to use as well whoosh, and that was it. Alright, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and the song, and hopefully that you learned something out of it. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments, or you can even DM me on Instagram. I always reply and I always love talking music with you guys. Let me know what you thought about the song. I think I made some good progress compared to the first two ones, especially for one reason, is that it's the first song that like I had a vision in my head. I knew exactly where I was going, like what I wanted, and that I was actually able to take what was in my head down to the DAW. The first two songs were pretty much the result of what happens, because I didn't really know too much yet. So I was really happy about this for that one. Let me know your thoughts, keep learning, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
We're talking about summer nights when all our days are bright and all our dreams can come true. We're talking about summer highs and all our